Manila Bay shocked Japanese warships arrive. The morning sun cast a golden glow across the calm waters of Manila Bay. Fishermen in their small outrigger boats, known as bankas, paused their work looking towards the horizon. Three massive gray shapes cut through the water, warships flying the unmistakable red sun of the Japanese flag. These were destroyers from the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force, arriving not as invaders but as invited guests. The lead ship, the JS Izumo, is a helicopter carrier, one of the largest in Japan's navy. Helicopters were visible on its flat deck, their rotors tied down. Two smaller destroyers followed, their advanced radar systems scanning the skies and sea. Philippine Navy ships sailed out to meet them, a sign of welcome and partnership. This was a planned visit, a powerful symbol of a growing friendship between two island nations. On the shore, crowds gathered. News reporters lined the piers. Government officials stood ready to greet their Japanese counterparts. The air buzzed with excitement and questions. Why were they here? What did this mean for the Philippines? For decades, the sight of Japanese military vessels in Philippine waters would have brought back painful memories. But today, the mood was different. The arrival of these steel giants was a clear and public statement. The relationship between the Philippines and Japan had fundamentally changed. The message was not just for the people of the Philippines, it was sent across the entire South China Sea. Every nation with a stake in these contested waters was watching. The presence of these advanced warships in Manila signaled a shift in the balance of power. Japan was willing to play a more active role in regional security, standing alongside its partners. The quiet, steady arrival of these ships spoke louder than any political speech. It was a demonstration of commitment, a display of strength, and a promise of support in an increasingly uncertain world. The waters of Manila Bay, once a witness to conflict, were now the stage for a new alliance. A new chapter in Asian history was being written before their eyes. To understand the importance of this moment, we must look back in time. The history between the Philippines and Japan is complex and filled with pain. During World War II, the Imperial Japanese Army invaded and occupied the Philippines, leaving deep scars. For many older Filipinos, the Japanese flag was once a symbol of fear and oppression. The Bataan Death March and other wartime atrocities created a deep sense of mistrust. For decades, relations were formal but distant, focused mainly on trade and economic aid. The idea of a military partnership seemed impossible. However, time has a way of healing wounds. Japan transformed itself after the war, renouncing aggression and becoming a peaceful democratic nation. Official apologies and development aid from Japan helped build trust. A new generation saw each other not as former enemies, but as neighbors facing shared challenges. The arrival of Japanese destroyers in Manila Bay is the ultimate proof of this transformation. Both nations have chosen to look forward, not back. The warships are not a sign of renewed aggression but a symbol of a mature and powerful friendship. They represent a shared commitment to a future where the rule of law, not the rule of force, governs the seas. This journey from foes to allies is a powerful lesson for the world. The new friendship between Japan and the Philippines grew in the shadow of a rising power, China. For years, Beijing has made aggressive claims over almost the entire South China Sea, ignoring international rulings and the rights of its neighbors. Filipino fishermen are chased from their traditional grounds by Chinese Coast Guard vessels, while artificial islands become military bases. This behavior threatens Philippine sovereignty and regional peace. The West Philippine Sea is rich in resources, but China's actions prevent the Philippines from accessing them. The Philippine Navy and Coast Guard are often outmatched by China's massive fleet. Japan sees China's behavior as part of a larger pattern, with similar disputes in the East China Sea. Supporting the Philippines is about protecting Japan's own interests too. By sending warships and working with the Philippines, Japan helps create a counterbalance to China's power. It's a clear signal to Beijing: aggressive actions will not go unanswered. Smaller nations are not alone. The South China Sea is one of the world's most important waterways, a global shipping highway. Trillions of dollars in goods pass through every year. If one country controlled it, the global economy would suffer. That's why countries like the US, Australia, and the UK insist on freedom of navigation. China's attempts to claim the entire sea challenge this principle. The US Navy conducts freedom of navigation operations to assert international rights. The Philippines sits at a strategic crossroads, acting as a gatekeeper to the Pacific. Control over the Philippines is crucial for any power-seeking influence in the region. For the US and its allies, a strong, independent Philippines keeps sea lanes open and maintains balance. The Japan-Philippines partnership is watched closely by global leaders. When Japan sends destroyers to Manila, it strengthens a network of alliances upholding international law. The future of these waters is tied to global trade, security, and the rules-based order. The world is watching and the stakes are high. The fate of the Indo-Pacific depends on what happens here. The relationship between the Philippines and Japan is now a model of modern diplomacy. It's a deep partnership built on shared values and strategic interests. Both are island democracies, wary of China's rise, and treaty allies of the US. Japan's new security posture allows it to play a more active role in global security. Agreements like the Reciprocal Access Agreement make joint training and exercises easier. This legal framework is the backbone of their military partnership. Both governments see their security as linked. A threat to one is a concern for the other. The partnership isn't just about countering China, it's about building a stable region. By working together, they strengthen a network of like-minded nations in the Indo-Pacific. This network, including the US and Australia, promotes dialogue and law over force. The alliance sends a message of resilience and hope. It shows that nations can overcome a difficult past to build a future of trust and peace. The Tokyo-Manila alliance is a beacon for the region. Japan's support for the Philippines goes far beyond warships. Japan has provided the Philippine Coast Guard with modern patrol vessels and extensive crew training. These ships and skills help the Philippines patrol its waters and stand up to daily challenges from China. Japan has also transferred surveillance aircraft, giving the Philippines better maritime awareness. Humanitarian assistance is another pillar. Japan's self-defense forces have helped after disasters like Super Typhoon Haiyan. This partnership builds trust and goodwill, showing it's not just about military strategy. Japan's help strengthens the Philippines' capacity to defend itself and respond to crises. The alliance is as much about friendship and resilience as it is about security. Soft power and hard power go hand in hand. Joint military exercises between Japan and the Philippines are now routine and vital. These drills build interoperability, turning two separate militaries into a cohesive team. Exercises like Sama-Sama, involving the US and other allies, practice defending against common threats. The message to potential aggressors is clear: if you bully one, you face all. Training with Japan's advanced navy modernizes the Philippine forces and boosts their confidence. These drills reassure Filipinos that they are not alone. They demonstrate a credible commitment from trusted partners. For fishermen and citizens, seeing these alliances in action brings security and hope. The joint drills are a living promise of mutual defense. They forge a bond between nations that is stronger than steel. China views the Japan-Philippines alliance as a direct challenge to its ambitions. Beijing condemns joint military exercises, calling them provocations. China prefers to deal with neighbors one-on-one where its power dominates. After major drills, China often increases its own activity in disputed waters as a show of force. But these reactions only reinforce the need for alliances. Every act of Chinese aggression validates the partnership between Japan and the Philippines. Instead of dividing its neighbors, China's actions push them closer together. The alliance with Japan, the US, and Australia creates a stable balance of power. This balance is about preventing war, not starting one. By standing together, these nations raise the cost of aggression. The warships in Manila Bay are guardians of peace in a critical region. The strengthened partnership brings real benefits for the Philippines. For fishermen, increased patrols means safer waters and secure livelihoods. A stable maritime environment boosts trade, investment, and economic growth. Japan is already a top trading partner and investor, and security brings more opportunities. The alliance also improves disaster response, saving lives when typhoons strike. Training and equipment from Japan translate into faster, more effective relief. This friendship is there in good times and bad. The arrival of Japanese warships is a symbol of cooperation over conflict. It's a statement of sovereignty and the right to choose allies. For the Philippines, this alliance means security, prosperity, and hope. By standing with trusted partners, the Philippines upholds international law and peace. The steel giants on the horizon are not a threat, but a promise. A new dawn is rising for the Philippines and the Indo-Pacific.